This is an epiphany I had not too long ago, is that we might think we're coming across a certain way to people, but they don't receive it. How we think it came across doesn't matter because what only matters is they didn't receive it well. And if they're not receiving it well, then that's kind of our problem. We might think that we're coming at it very innocently and pure. And I remember telling somebody, that comes across as rude. And he said, well, I'm not being rude. And I said, it comes across as rude. So what are we going to do? Maybe you need to look at yourself. And we think that we're coming across a certain way when really we're hurting people. And that's why it's so important to let other people refine us and sharpen us and polish us. It's like there's a verse in the Bible that talks about iron sharpens iron. That's why I feel sorry for people who are single and alone for years and decades because they have nobody to hold them accountable, to refine them, to sharpen them, to say, hey, it's time to level up. What you're doing doesn't sit well with people.
Great. It's 100% right. And the quote that I learned in NLP was the communication is the response you get. Is the feedback.
Yes.
And feedback is everywhere because everything you put out is going to get a response.
The whole story I just went on was the response is how it lands. The communication is,
How powerful is that idea?
yeah, so powerful.
Yeah. And the other idea also is feedback is everywhere. You don't need to wait for it. You don't need to ask for it. You can see it in people's body language and what they tell you back and how they respond to you.
Right.
And so am I getting the response I want? Back to your strategy idea about, or your question about when do I be the controller with my daughter? Are you getting the response you want? If you're not getting the response you want, wrong strategy.
Right. And you know what, also something I started doing with her for people who are listening is that you pay attention to the feedback, meaning their body language, the energy. And even if you're on the phone, I still will notice when something shifts with her. I'll notice a subtle shift in the energy and her tone, and I'll say, what just happened? And now we have this thing where I go, what just happened? Something just shifted. What happened? Was it something I said? Oh, I'm fine. I go, boo boo, my daughter. And I won't just let it go. And I'll be gently say, please just tell me what shifted. What happened? She goes, well, when you said this. And I said, okay, thanks for sharing that. Now I realize that comes across a certain way. I need to tweak my presentation. I need to just continue to work on myself. Someone I interviewed recently said, we need to teach people how we want to be treated.
Right.
Because not everybody is going to treat us according to the same way that we're going to treat them. And it's not like we're controlling people and saying, you need to do this and you do this, but just saying, hey, this doesn't sit well with me.
The communication is the response you get, meaning it's how it lands with the person you're communicating to that matters the most. I told her this. You told her, but what did she hear? Because we're listening to your words, then interpreting them, and then it lands in whatever model of the world we have, which is a completely different model of the world. You know, it's like this idea that if we go to the movie theater and we watch a movie, 30 of us, it's 30 different movies. It's not the same movie. It lands completely different for all of us. That's the communication is the response you get.
So we have, you said the 5 things. Your one-page plan is broken up into, is it 3 parts?
Evan, so it's the why, the how, and the what. So the why is your North Star, what you're aiming at, and your purpose, which is why you're on this earth. What are you contributing to this earth? Okay. And then the how is the principles that you follow, no matter how inconvenient, the lessons that you're learning on the way, and the strategies that you choose with your daughter, with whatever the strategies that you're picking to create your best life. Because when you talk to your daughter, you're trying to create your best life as well as her best life. It's not just I'm trying to help you. It's like you want to feel good about your relationship too. And then the what is Stephen Covey's idea of roles and goals. What are the roles you play and what are the goals you're aiming at? The tangible, measurable goals. Roles would be like, I try and list 7 roles, predominant roles. So it could be man, it could be Christian, it could be mom, it could be neighbor. So if you think about your roles, mom, neighbor, coach, author, and so you think about the roles that you want to play, not the roles that you're playing, right? This is James Clear's idea from Atomic Habits about upgrading your identity. How do you upgrade your identity? Well, so you can change your roles in 3 ways. You can either get rid of it, say, I don't want to be a landlord anymore, I'm selling my house. Or you could say, I want to be something new, a mom for the first time. That's a new role. Or you can change the way you look at the role. So instead of saying mom, you could say partner. Or instead of wife, you could say lover. So you could change the energy behind the role. Or you can enhance the role. So instead of coach, you can say master coach. There's lots of ways of upgrading your roles. And then you think about, okay, so if I say my role is, you remember the t-shirts, what would Jesus do? So it's like, what would a loving mom do? What would a master coach do? What would a six-figure solopreneur do? So when I work with solopreneurs, I always tell them that you want to be a six-figure solopreneur, right? That's the role you want to play. What would a six-figure solopreneur do here? What would they do? This is the Werner Erhard idea from Landmark of you want to play the role that you want, not play the role that you've got now. So you want to act as if you're already a mom. You want to act as if you're already a six-figure solopreneur. You want to act as if you're already on Joe Rogan's podcast. He done that. And say,
Right.
what would that person do? Rather than, no, I'm not at that level yet, so I'm going to act at this. Because then you're stuck at the level that you're saying you're at, rather than trying to get to the level that you want to
Right.
be at. So it's that idea.
And you just decide what your roles are. Obviously, you're not going to have someone else give it to you, but you just decide what is my role.
You can choose not to be a mom. I know biologically you're a mom, but you can decide I don't want anything to do with my daughter, so you can still choose that. To say I'm not a mom anymore. The only thing we don't get to choose is intrinsic, the pull for freedom and love and the stuff. We get to choose how to frame it. You can also say, in some sense, we don't choose the relationship we have with ourselves because we're stuck with that relationship. But you can choose how to navigate that relationship, how you want it to be structured, right? You can choose that. I think we have a lot of choice that people don't seem to realize how much choice we have
Right.
in how we see things.
Yes. And that's the majority of the work I do with my clients actually is helping them first. I'm a relationship coach, but a lot of people think a relationship coach, I help you in your relationships with other people. Yes, I definitely do that. But my priority is helping you with a relationship with yourself, which is the most important relationship you have. And that I didn't even know up until I got into personal growth.
Me too.
Was realizing, wow, like I've been abandoning this relationship I have with myself. I've been self-sabotaging. I've just thought I need to put this to the last because everyone else needs to come first. Otherwise, I'm selfish.
Yes.
And I realized, wow, I have just totally let this person go. My dreams, my hopes, everything, because this is how I was raised.
My principles, my philosophy, this is the stuff I learned at 37. I mean, Peter McWilliams has a quote about this. The only relationship that matters is the one with yourself because everything else is played out through that. And it's the only relationship you're stuck with till the day you die, whether you like it or not.
Right. You might as well enjoy it. Like I said to somebody recently, like if you don't enjoy your own company, how can you expect somebody else to? Like you don't like your life, you don't like just being alone, and yet you want to be in a relationship and you just expect somebody else is going to come and like you and your lifestyle when you don't even like.
And back to your point about shaping, it was such a important point about having a partner to shape you and help with the feedback. If you have a partner that's going to give you that feedback and you're not doing the inner work, you're not going to receive the feedback properly. You're not ready for it. Because they're
No.
showing you things in your shadow that you haven't seen yourself. You haven't, and that's
Right.
really difficult. Huh? When someone tells you something that's true about yourself and you don't know it, like that's really hard to take. Really
That's a
hard.
blind spot. And that's why I think the only thing that gets in your way is ego or pride. Same thing. It's like if you can't stop, and I know there's moments I was like, ooh, I feel my pride rising. I don't want to receive this feedback. I want to defend myself. And I just was like, Anna, stop right now. Just don't say a word. Just breathe. And just know, like, I'm activated. I want to react. I want to defend myself, but that is ego. And so I received the feedback. And a few minutes later, I realized I was like, you're right. You're right. I just didn't see it. And that was a moment of growth for me. I could have denied it. I could have denied myself that growth.
Carl Jung, the Carl Jung idea is if something irritates you, annoys you, frustrates you about the other, that's a classic indication that there's something in your shadow you haven't seen. What a great way to approach things. It's like, what am I not seeing about myself? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I work with solopreneurs, again, remember, and you know this, you're one yourself. It's like you're on your own now, trying to figure out how to make money and how to get clients. That's a lonely place if you feel disconnected. If you can't be alone and you don't love what you're doing and you're not clear on who you are and you don't understand your limitations, that's a really fucked up place to be because you don't have that team and the support and the people to turn to. And so a lot of the work I do is we start with the one-page plan. It's like you have to know who you are and make decisions and choices based on how you want to live your life first, because then we understand what we're aiming at and then everything becomes worth it. That's the pay now and play later idea you were sharing earlier, or the play now and pay later. If you can make the right choices now, knowing what kind of life you're going to live, you can tolerate the bad Wi-Fi and the leaf blower and you know what I mean? You can tolerate the struggles of your day to day because you know where you're going and you know you're on track and you understand who you want to be and where you want to get to. And I think that's where relationships fall down for me. Clients, intimate partners, business partners. It's like, are we both clear on what we're aiming at? Are we both on the same team here? Are we on the right path together? If we are, we can then tolerate all the differences and all the struggles and all the feedback. But if there's doubts about that, how are we, like we're building a building and we have no idea what the building looks like or why we're building it? What are you doing?
I love that. And I tell this to people all the time. A good relationship takes two builders. Each person stacking a brick, one on top of the other every day until after a few years. And that is like learning to be patient, learning to receive feedback, learning to walk through conflict, learning to just level up in every way so that by the end of a year, 5 years down the road, you have this beautiful mansion or whatever that you other.
Well, it starts with that, I would say. That, do we know what we're building? Is it a mansion or whatever? And then it's the break. So it's like the vision and then the work. Gary Vaynerchuk says macro patience, micro speed. Know what we're aiming at. We're patient. Like you're on a plane from Florida, you're going to LA. You're patient. You know it's going to take 4 hours, but you know you're going to land in LA, so you're happy to sit for 4 hours on the plane. But imagine you were on a plane. You didn't know how long it was going to take. You didn't know where it was landing. Like I'd go crazy on the plane. It's like, why am I here?
Right.
How?
Infinite patience produces immediate results. Somebody says that infinite patience produces immediate results, and it's like it's very what counterintuitive to be infinitely patient and then immediate results.
Like if we're married and we know what kind of life we're trying to create, it's like great. Let's get to work. We know we're not questioning why we're together. We're not questioning how we want to live. We're questioning what are we going to do about it today, and that means we can just focus on what are we going to do. When I met you, you were like, I don't know if I want to talk to this guy because I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about. Like you had that. Yeah. No, there's no point. I don't know what the point of the conversation is. Once we found the point, it's like, fine, let's just do it. What are we waiting for? Let's get into the action now because we understand why we're doing it and how we're going to do it. So let's just do it. The patience versus the action. You need the patience with the long-term vision so that you can focus on the actions every single day.
And that's why communication is so key. Like you said, in the relationship, being able to sit down together with your partner and say, where do we see ourselves 5 years from now? What kind of relationship do we want to have? Do we want to have complete trust? Do we want to have, and there's just so much that goes into a beautiful relationship. And a lot of people just treat it like, this is me, this is you, let's get together, let's
figure it out.
And let's, you know, we'll figure it out as it goes. But it's so like people spend so much money with financial advisors and education, right? But when it comes to a relationship, which is the most important thing in your life,
and we got zero education on it,
zero
really.
Training, zero intention, and people go by feeling, by that chemistry, that those butterflies. That's what people go by. And I've learned so much, like kind of a side tangent, but when people meet somebody and you've got those butterflies, that should be like a warning sign to pay attention and be like, okay, what is really happening here? Is this my familiar self like wanting this, or is this actually healthy and good? Are we aligned? Are we compatible? Just a side note for anybody listening.
It's really important. It's the same. You know how you were saying earlier about the what's good for me today versus what's good for me later? Yes. You're like maybe a chocolate cake. That's the oh, I want to have sex with her, or oh, I really want to. It's like that's the cake.
Yeah.
You want to eat now. It's not rational. There's no composure. there's no control on the decision. It's you're letting your animal kind of
Yes.
instinct. There's this funny joke about men. The only two questions men have is, can I eat it or can I fuck it? It's like, that's your animal. We're like, we can't just stop, just eat and fuck everything. We have to put some control. We have to put some control over. Otherwise, we're just apes. I have friends like that. Like, I have friends that's the only thing on their mind. What do we eat, and who are we gonna try and get into bed? That's the only things on their mind. It's like, there's no maturity. There's no, you know what I mean? There's nothing about them that makes me think this is someone worth hanging out with. I'm gonna learn from this guy. He's gonna make me a better person. It's like, it's like, it's just so self-indulgent. You know?
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
So
the
you
way,
go ahead.
oh yeah. No, you had,
Um,
did we close off on the one-page plan?
the roles, you talked about the
No.
roles and the goals.
I want to say one thing about goals. So a lot of people say 5-year goals, 10-year goals. I don't think they know what they're talking about. This is how I think about it. The vision is the vision. Freedom, love, joy, whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
That's the long term. You don't need to go past 12 months. You need to just aim at the vision, right? And then you say, in the next 12 months, what am I going to achieve that sets me up to get to that vision? I don't think you need to go beyond that, because we've seen with COVID, children coming unexpectedly, breakups, health, right? We've seen that things change very quickly. So why are we taking real estate in our head on things that are probably going to change?
Like kind of out of our control, you're saying.
Yeah, it's just too far away, because it's this idea that we underestimate what we can do in 12 months, or we overestimate what we can do in 12 months, and we underestimate what we can achieve in or 10 years and 12. But the point is, like, our concept of time is very skewed, but you have open loops in your mind. So if I say I want a house in 10 years or in 5 years in Jupiter, next to Anna, so we can share coffee in the morning. Like, if I'm thinking about that, that's an open loop in my mind that won't close until I get that house. And the more open loops you have, the more drained you are, and the less you're able to focus on what's important right now. Your point about the patience. So I don't need to be patient about the house. I need to be patient about my vision. Living a life where I love myself and I love the people I'm with, and I've got the freedom to do what I want. That's my patience. Why do I need to add extra baggage? It's like hoarding ideas. So sports teams will say 12-month goal, forget about everything else. Okay, you have career aspirations, blah, blah, blah. But usually sports stars, it's to be the best they can be and to win as much as they can. That's typically what their goal is, right? But they think about the next 12 months, because I need to stay injury free and I need to work my way up and I need to have a good season. Why am I looking at anything else? And then once you've done that, Anna, you can then plan the next 12 months and then the next 12 months. And that's a much better way of doing it. So we look at only 12 months. So if I was doing your one-page plan now, Anna, I would say 15th of June, 2027. What do you want to be true measurably? Right? And that's where you could say, I've saved 100,000 towards a house, rather than I've got my house in 5 years. It's a better way to think of it. Okay. And then we look at it 3 ways: health, wealth, and relationships. Because no matter who you are, everybody wants better health, better wealth, and better relationships. Name me one goal, 15th of June, 2027, health related, wealth related, and relationship related, that is going to give you a better starting point to your vision next year, right? To say, I've got a better 12 months ahead because I've lifted the standards, I've lifted the... And so health, it could be losing weight, it could be getting stronger, it could be overcoming a disease, it could be changing your sleeping habits or your eating habits, it could be something like that. Wealth could be debt cleared or money saved or money made. And then relationships could be intimate, it could be daughter, it could be, like you could say, in the next 12 months, I want to have the perfect relationship with my daughter. That's my goal, because that's going to give me a better chance to live my best life. And so that's the only time, roles and goals, where we go into detail. What's the role you want to play and what does that look like? And what's the goal you want to achieve and what does that look like? Everything else is the how and the why we're doing it. And here's a pro tip, if you want to call it that. The goal doesn't matter. The growth in the 12 months trying to achieve the goal matters. Because you take that growth forever. Whereas the goal, you achieve the goal and then what?
Right.
Like, okay, let's go for the next goal.
And something that comes to my mind for anybody listening is that sometimes we set goals and we don't make them by the end of the week. For me, I do tend to take on a lot. I'm a creative, so I don't even watch TV. I don't scroll social media a lot, but I am always busy. I'm always creating. I'm always getting wind in my hair. And so sometimes at the end of the day, at the end of the week, I'm like, oh man, I haven't reached my goals. This is a good time to go back and to evaluate. Okay, what worked? What didn't work? What do I need to do differently? Because it's insanity to keep setting these goals week after week, month after month, even year after year, and not reach.
Yep.
For things to get better, you have to get better. Jim Rohn says that.
Agreed.
So something to go back and say, okay, this week it didn't work. So what do I need to tweak? One tiny little thing I need to tweak. Maybe I need to get up 30 minutes earlier. For me, that was what. Okay, I want to start getting up at 5:30 now. I need a little bit more time in the day to get all the shit done, right?
Mhm.
And another thing, I'm not going to do 10 things on my to-do list. I'm just going to add 5 things to my to-do list and try to get those 5 things done. I'm not going to add 10 things to my to-do list. I'm just going to add 5 things.
It ends up becoming a to-do list, right, Anna? Sometimes it's like it's not goals anymore. It's just like a wish list of things you wish you want to come. Here's a simple strategy I use. Let's say annual goal. I'll give you an example. I want to make $100,000 a month, right? That's my, so by the end of the year, I want to be making $100,000 a month. Okay, great. That's my annual goal. That's what I'm aiming at, wealth-wise. What's the monthly goal? Now, people often say, well, 50 grand. They'll say like the monthly goal is 50 grand or 60 grand. It's like they just break it down. That's not clever. What's smarter is to say, what do I need to put into place that's going to help me get to the 100 grand? So my monthly goal could be that I've got a better sales script, or I've got a better outreach process to find clients, or I've upped my prices and tested it in the market. Okay, so let's say that's the goal. So you've got the annual goal to make more money, then you've got the monthly goal to up your prices. And you don't know, it's scary upping your prices because you're like, I don't know if people are going to pay it. Okay, great. So the monthly goals, we're going to test the new price and see if anybody buys. Okay, great. Every single day, the only thing I think about is what do I have to do to up the price and test it? So today's goal might be coming up with a price. Tomorrow's goal might be pitching it to an existing client or pitching it to a new client. And then I just work daily on the what can I do today to help me with my monthly. So what you end up doing is funneling the goal. So the vision's clear, the annual goal's clear, the monthly goal's clear, and now every day it's like, what am I going to do about it? And you know, on the day, I know how much space I've got based on calls, and I've got 2 hours blocked out with Anna, so I'm not going to have that time. And I have to go and take my dad to the hospital, so I'm not going to have that time. So then I say, okay, based on what I've got today, what can I achieve? Well, you know what? I'm going to reach out to 10 clients. That's my goal for today. That's it. And so it's like kind of just I don't know how else to describe it, but you're decluttering your mind of open loops, and you're trying to focus on the most important thing you need to do now. This is Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, by the way. It's something about noise elimination. I'm only going to focus on the next important thing and nothing else.
I need that because I want to do it all. I want to be like 3 things. I need 3 important things.
Because we talked about this, and I said to you, I'll talk to you about the framework later. I think when you have everything laid out on a plan and you've got that idea that, okay, I know what I'm aiming at, all the good ideas will come back if they were good ideas. They'll come back. You don't need to stack them in a list. And a lot of them will disappear because you realize, actually, I don't need to waste time with that anymore. I've got a better angle or opportunity here. And I think it always comes down to the alignment of the why and the how and the what. If you've got all of that aligned, you can then strip back everything and think about the next best, smallest step. And that's a great question, Anna. What's
That
the next best, smallest step for me to take?
the next best. So okay, and you
Yeah.
know what? I just had a bit of an epiphany. Next best, smallest
Smallest
step.
step.
Okay,
Yeah.
was
Just ask yourself that, and then when you take the step, ask the question again. What's the next best, smallest? Yeah.
so the vision, having your North Star. For me, I would say it's freedom and peace. 100%. I just want time freedom, I want money freedom, and I want peace in my relationships, in my life, in my relationship with God. I want peace. And so, knowing that's my North Star, all those little to dos, those goals, everything needs a point towards that. And I
What
feel like that would make it easier.
you saying, this is my North Star, I know it, versus embodying it every single, like you pray to God. It's like it's an embodiment every day, because then it becomes the most important thing. You know, I'll tell you a little story. This might help. There's a movie theater in the UK called Everyman Cinema, and it's like the best movie theater. It's like they serve you food and big sofas and very limited seating and very, very cool place. Like it's one of the things that the wealthy go to, right? And the CEO of Everyman Cinema, his line was, "We want to be the greatest movie theater to watch the worst movies." And his point was, we don't control the movies. That's not our product. But if it was the worst movie, it's going to be the best place to watch it. Okay, that was the vision. Every meeting he ever had, he started with that line. Like they'd be meeting the plumber about a problem in the bathroom. And before the meeting, he'd say, "Remember to the plumber, this is the greatest place to watch the worst movies." And I'd be like, why is he saying that to the plumber? Because he was embodying the vision across every single dimension of the organization. Like everyone's going to remember why we're here at every single level of communication. And when I asked him, he said, it takes me 10 seconds to say the line. It's not like it's costing us time or we're wasting any resources. I just say it at the beginning. Remember why we're here, to create the greatest. So let's think about.
Be there.
So let's put it into individual.
Yes.
Every morning, my ritual is I want to live life on my own terms, which is doing what I want, with who I want, from wherever I choose to be, right? That's all I do. And this is why I'm living today, to create that life. I think if you don't embody it, because it's not here that you know it. It has to be in the non-conscious. Has to be. And so that's a ritual straight off the bat I would do if you're not doing it. Remind yourself of what, again, this is a Steve Jobs idea. He said, if I look in the mirror every morning and I'm not looking forward to today, I say to myself, am I looking forward to the day? Right? Is today going to be a great day for me? Is this the day that I want?
Wait,
If the
repeat that,
answer-
please. You said he looks in the mirror and he says what?
And he asks himself, is this the perfect day? Is this the day you're looking forward to? Is this the day you want to live today? And he said, if the answer is no, I know something's wrong. Star. He's saying, this is the life I want to live. Am I living it today? Because if you want to live your best life, or if you want to live life on your own terms, let's say, right, Anna? I want to live life on my own terms and have total freedom and peace in everything I do. You ask yourself that question every day. Am I living my best life with total freedom and peace? If the answer is no, you know there's something that needs to be fixed, and the answer is usually pretty quick. Why? Well, because I'm meeting this client that I don't want to be meeting, and I'm doing this podcast episode with someone I shouldn't have booked it with. And okay, why did you book the podcast episode? What's the lesson there? Right? Or I had a fight with my daughter and she's not talking to me, or whatever. It's like, why did that happen? What do I need to do to fix it? That becomes your priority. That becomes your priority, nothing else. No other goals, no other wish list. And you think about it, by the way, if you fix 12 big things a year, that's one a month. What kind of progress are you making in your life? Like, that's serious progress.
Huge progress.
So pick one thing a month and say, that's my priority. Like, health is my priority. Or my daughter's my priority this month. I have to clear the air with her. That's my priority for June.
I think there's a lot of juicy bits in here for people to create their own one-page plan and to live the life on their terms, live their dream life, because I'm living mine, you're living yours, it sounds like. And it's only happening because we're deciding. Like, we're not going to live life on anybody's terms anymore. We did that. It didn't work. So where can people find you?
My permanent residence is LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn. I create content on there daily, and I run a masterclass. I'll give a special link to your listeners, so if they sign up on that link, I'll give them a couple of bonuses about the one-page plan and how that works too. That'll be fun. mochoice.com/podcast.
Anything last sort of nuggets you want to leave my listeners?
No, I think what I wanted to say was you've got a very approachable style of interviewing, actually, or podcasting, because you were super curious, and I felt it genuinely about what I was talking about, and you guided the conversation without interrupting. You kind of gave me the space to explore my own thoughts. Actually, I came up with some insights as I was talking to you, and you threw in some amazing, like, gold from your own ideas and the own quotes and your own experiences. And I just loved the way you did it. And I think I felt your presence and your curiosity and your intentionality and your openness And that's a real credit to you. I get to experience it in a different way. And so I just wanted to give you kudos for that. I think it's quite special. And not everybody does that, by the way.
Thank you. That makes me feel emotional. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being my guest and for taking the time out. And this is going to be awesome.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. It was a very fun conversation and and meaningful, actually, which is, I think, the right balance. You want to have fun, you want some meaning and some insights. And I think we achieved that today. So that's super cool.
All right. Well, thank you, Mo.
You're welcome.